Everybody, just Taylor. No full episode this week. Sorry about that delay. We will be back next Friday with an all-new episode with our recommendations from last week. Again, those were the documentary Movie Pass, Movie Crash about the failed subscription service, I guess you would call it, Movie Pass, and also Jake's recommendation for me, the album There Are Days by Cheese Industries. You can get that on Spotify right now. Did want to just put this out to let you know that we're sorry we missed the episode and also give you a quick recap of The GOAT. I'm recording this Thursday morning. I just finished watching The GOAT, so it's still very fresh in my mind. So this week's episode was all about fashion shows. So that was great. Tosh is great. First challenge comes up. Davon gets GOAT. So she immediately nominates CJ to go on the chopping block. Now, Davon's kind of positioned herself as one of the best reality show competition villains. And sad to see CJ up for elimination, but she still gets a chance to get herself off the voting block if she can win the challenge next day. Here's something I found. Two things interesting while watching this show. Three things, really. One, there was a commercial for Amazon during the Amazon broadcast where Johnny Depp is just playing a guitar with a wolf, and it's for a cologne. And who paid for that, and who is being convinced by Johnny Depp and a bunch of bracelets and an electric guitar to buy a cologne. I don't understand who that commercial's for, except I guess for Johnny Depp, and you're giving him money. So, okay, that was just, it was off-putting. Second thing that I noticed is I don't think anybody's watching this show except for me, just based, we'll see how this video does. But I still really enjoy the show. So, second challenge, CJ, if she wins, she could put Davon on the chopping block, and Davon is kind of manipulating everybody else. Played up really well. The show's edited fantastic, except for one part at the end, which I'll talk about in a minute. CJ loses that challenge to Davon by 3 seconds. They have to walk on a catwalk. It's a modeling show thing with a book on their head. Davon gets it done 3 seconds faster. CJ's on the chopping block. Everything's looking like CJ's, going home, which I'm sad to see. Again, my favorites are CJ and Joe. So Joe is also up for elimination, but he's kind of got a good rapport with everyone else. So it's time for elimination, and Tosh comes out with the votes. Tosh still crushing it. Again, he's great. And the votes come down, and they're counting it, and it's looking like, oh, it's definitely going to be CJ who's eliminated. And she is eliminated. So here's why I really think this show's not being paid attention to. I literally spent the whole episode thinking the editing on this is great. It's really good, except if this was on network television like a Survivor or whatever, they have like the little logos at the bottom of counting up the votes when Tosh is reading them out, like this vote is for CJ, this vote is for Joe. So there's 6 people left in the house. It's 1-to-1, CJ and Joe. And then they cut to a reaction shot, which I guess they took from later in the episode, like just a couple minutes later after they finished counting the votes. And you can see I wouldn't say it flickered. I mean, I noticed it, and I wasn't really paying attention. I just noticed the screen pop in and out in the corner, and I looked down and saw. And then it flashed from 1 vote for CJ and 1 vote for Joe to 1 vote for Joe and 5 votes for CJ. So I'm like, oh, well, I mean, there wasn't much of a build-up for this one, but yeah, just no one caught that, and they put it on the streaming platform for one of the biggest companies in the world. So that doesn't bode well for season 2 of this show, that and the Reddit. And yeah, I think it's really well put together. Again, I'm really just doing this out of spite. Again, Jake doesn't listen to this show. He has mentioned nothing about me popping in last episode. So I will be continuing to do this. I did want to add as well, I was going to recommend for Jake a movie to talk about next week, but I think we're both going to talk about it. It's getting really good reviews, and I think we'll just talk about it anyway instead of postponing another week. It's available to stream on Netflix with Glenn Powell. It's called Hitman. It's getting really great reviews. I've watched it. It's really nice. I know Jake's going to like it, but I'm not going to push it back another week and put on a rec. We'll just talk about it, a little bonus thing. Or, again, he doesn't listen to this. I've asked him to watch it. I'm not forcing him to watch it. This is really a test for Jake to see what he does with that. So, yeah, next week, again, we're going to be talking about Cheese Industries' album, There Are Days. We're going to be talking about the documentary Movie Pass, Movie Crash. We will be talking about Hitman, available to stream on Netflix. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Like this video on YouTube, leave comments, do whatever you want. If you're watching The Goat, let me know. Send an email to upyouralleypod@gmail.com. I'm really fascinated if anyone's watching the show or if I'm just literally screaming into a void right now. Also, Johnny Depp thing is weird. What else did we learn today? I learned to keep the dog out of the basement while I'm recording solo because he is not well behaved, so there's no water drinking noises this week. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week, everything like that. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.